My name is Michele Steeb. Jim and I have been members of St. John's Lutheran since 2003. When we visited St. John's, there was no need to visit any other churches. Jim and I have 5 kids. 4 are my stepsons, and they are at this stage 22 through 28. We adopted a little girl named Brooklyn the day after she was born, and loves this church, loves singing, loves Pastor Frank and Pastor Leslie, loves her Sunday school class, and has some really good friends. Baptized here, Pastor Scott and Pastor Frank ended up sharing it. I cried during my baptism, but I cried even harder during Brooklyn's. I called Pastor Scott and said, "Pastor Scott, I want to get involved in a nonprofit." He said, "What do you think about St. John's Shelter?" And I was at the shelter, and Pastor Frank called. He was the chair of St. John's Shelter Board at that point, and he said, we're in trouble. We just bounced 2 employees' payroll checks. The food truck is not coming, and our bookkeeper just resigned. And I said to Pastor Frank, "Would you like me to address the staff?" And in the course of that 3-minute presentation, I had just a very strong calling that I needed to do something bigger here. I think one of the greatest things that's been accomplished is reconnecting our church with the shelter. Most, important things that I've learned is the word that comes to mind for me is courage. The amount of courage it takes to humble yourself to enter a shelter like St. John's, and to let your kids know that you're at this point, right? I mean, that is striking. It is just so striking, and I'm humbled by them. I think in terms of what they've taught me is the importance of resiliency. My husband had a massive heart attack in June of 2013. It's a heart attack that basically 5% of people survive. He survived. May 27th, 2014, he had a heart transplant because the damage that he suffered from the heart attack in 2013 was very great. And we so believe in the power of prayer, and this church was praying for us, and we felt it, and we felt like this was our home, and it was an incredible experience.